Do not miss your opportunity to go to school and staying back for any man or woman, anybody that you love or think you love in high school. If it's real, they'll be there when you get back. Do not miss your opportunities. Do not miss your opportunities to go away to college if you have that. Do not miss your opportunity to join the military if that's what you're trying to do. Do not miss your opportunity to go overseas and take opportunities that are being given to you. Do not stay back because of your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whoever you fell in love with over the summer, whoever you just met and it's so great, because that stuff does not always last. True love will last. And what you have to realize, especially if you're a young person, your brain is still developing. Do you know that? Even your bones. When we're babies, we have over 300 bones in our bodies. And those bones continue to fuse and fuse and fuse and develop into our 20s, mid-20s. And that is the same thing for your brain. Right now, the frontal lobe of your brain, especially if you're a teenager, it's still developing. That's why sometimes as parents, we have to be very careful when we're dealing with our children. You know, sometimes you're telling them something and you're like, dude, what are you doing? Because their reasoning and the way they think is very different. We have to be kind. We can't be rude and disrespectful. Okay, but I digress. The whole point is, as I speak to you all, young little ones, your brain is still developing. Right now, you may feel like you really, really like this person. And you may genuinely have all these feelings. But as you develop and as you grow older, your mind, your brain, your thinking, your maturity is going to change. Your perspective in life is going to change. And you're going to be really upset with yourself. Excuse me. You're going to be really upset with yourself to realize you lost an opportunity to better yourself, to be who you needed to be, to stay on the block, to stay in the city, to stay in the state, to get with this person, run off and get married really early and have a bunch of children and not having enough of a job skill to have a good job. Yes, there are some stories where people, they didn't finish college, they didn't go to college and they did great and they worked hard, they got a business, they got this. Yes, these things happen. These are the exceptions, not the rule. And even then, if you want to work hard when you're not going to college or certain things you haven't done, you still need to work harder than most people to get the comfort that you like. You don't want to do that. You don't want that person, even who you're with, not to be able to be there to develop into who they truly are meant to be because you hindered yourself. You know, it's like when you go through the phases. Well, you know, caterpillar goes through their phases. They're in the cocoon and eventually they're going to become this beautiful butterfly. But you guys want to stop at the cocoon phase and go, oh no, I don't want to leave you. I don't want to, we're going to be here. So you're wrapped in this cocoon and you never reach your full potential of being the butterfly you're meant to be, soaring high. So listen to your mom and your dad and your families when they're telling you, go to school. Do not get entangled up in this boyfriend, girlfriend stuff. I'm telling you, you guys are so young. You may think you know everything, but you really don't right now. If this person is meant to be yours and you're meant to be together, then your distance is not going to change anything. But what can happen is when you go and you get the distance, and you get the experience and you continue to mature, you realize your feelings, you go home, you see this person is, it's not the same anymore. And it's not because you're a bad person, but that person was supposed to be with you for that phase and that stage in your life. I hope this hasn't been muffled the entire time. That'll be horrible. This person was just meant to be with you in that phase and in that specific stage of your life. And that's why when you go back home and you're still trying to connect, you realize, you know what, you guys don't have that much in common. Because at some point in your life, yes, you guys had things in common, but when you go in a different environment and you learn new things and you discover more about yourself, you come back together, you realize it's not. And other times you do. I remember seeing something on YouTube not too long ago. It was these I believe they were from France, and they were in love with each other, first loves and in middle school or something like that, and something happened where their parents had to move away and they were trying to keep in touch with each other, and then eventually the boyfriend just says to her, look, this is not going to work. He breaks it off with her. He does this, right? And it broke her heart. And he did it not because he fell in love with someone else, but the distance and trying to maintain was very hard for him. Well, years later, he goes on, she moves on, they lose connection. And somewhere along the line, he begins to think about her. And he goes on this show to find her and to see where she is. And what happens is they invite her on the show. She doesn't know who has invited her. And basically, at the show, it's revealed who it is, or certain clues are given. And then if they remember, they can decide if they want to actually meet this person or not, or keep that door closed. And you know what? She remembered everything about him. They never lost the love. They still felt for one another. And they didn't just jump into it. He wants to get to know her. They can be friends and see what happens. But you can see that they never lost those feelings for one another. Now, what it buds into later on, whether they just are greatest of friends or they really develop a relationship that leads to marriage and a lifelong commitment, who knows? But looking at the both of them, they never forgot each other. And I just want to let you know that love, genuine, what's there, distance cannot kill it. You won't be dissuaded. You understand what I'm saying? So I understand. You know, I remember one time going to Jamaica on vacation with my parents, and there was this guy that I really thought was so cute. You know, the families knew each other, and his name was Bana. His name was Ricky, but they call him Banachek. And he was so cute to me. And when it was time to go back home, to leave, to go back to the US, I was just so, oh my gosh, I don't want to leave him behind. I want to stay. I want to live here. That was what I was thinking. I just dreaded every moment of having to leave the vacation spot and go back to the United States and leave him behind. And it just felt like the end of the world. But you know what? It wasn't the end of the world. I went back. I got back in my environment, my norms, and soon my heart wasn't beating as much. And because it was for that time and I was young. I was probably like 11 years old or 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? And then I grew up. And then now I go back and I look back at the pictures and I'm like, what did I see in him? I mean, think about the guy that you like. I could think of someone I liked when I was in the 4th grade. His name was Lorenzo. And Lorenzo used to be doing all these backflips on the sand park. I went to school in Brooklyn. Oh my God, Lorenzo was just the bomb, okay? I thought Lorenzo was just the cutest thing. I go back years later, look at Lorenzo. He's still good looking. He never got ugly. But it's like, meh. So you have to realize that as you mature, you will change. And you have to give yourself that opportunity. Don't sit and go, oh, I don't want to leave him. And also don't make hasty decisions. Don't run off and marry a person before you go off to college or go off to the military. Get to know yourself. You're still growing. You are still developing. And that's what you have to do. You have to trust the process. If you have to rush it, if she wants to get pregnant, if he wants you to do something drastic, it's not right. Anyone that wants to hinder you and make you feel like they're not going to be there unless you do certain things to ensure the relationship, that right there is a red flag. So don't lose out your opportunities. Don't lose out. You may be the next CEO. You may be the next Elon Musk. You might be the next president. You might be the next head of state. You may be the next scientist. And you cannot afford to lose out on your self-development and your growth and to see who you are. Because when you know who you are and then you've achieved some things, now you are now in a position to choose, to take your time and choose the right person for you. And you're going to have balance, and you're not going to have this anxiety and urgency. You won't be feeling rushed. And when you meet the right person, this will be the person for you. And sometimes, even as an adult, you can still choose the wrong person. But if you are socially and emotionally developed and balanced, even if you choose someone that's not for you, it's not going to be the end of the world. Does this make sense? All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.